What's up, y'all? I'm watching another one on YouTube. It's called The Traveling Clat, CLATT. And he's Middle Eastern, Israeli. Uh, I don't remember exactly, but he's a couple. I'm not sure if it's Syrian or what. Maybe Iraqi. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But the guy knows a lot what's going on over in the Middle East. The Traveling Clat, CLATT, on YouTube. You'll see him as a dark guy. He's got you know, a beard and goatee and stuff. Kind of. It's not real bushy, but you could tell he's got a beard. And he talks about the Jordanian politicians, okay, that dropped the bombshells about King Abdullah of Yemen, I think it is. Okay. Now, if one of the biggest things that I can tell you about the Middle East is their biggest problem is because there are literally tribes. Okay? And I'm not sure about the deal is, but there's Sunni, Shia, and then also the Arab. Okay, that's Saudi Arabia. Then, and I think Saudi Arabia is Sunni, I believe. And there's other that are like Iran that are Shiite, or so I'm not sure. You just have to go look. But I know the difference between, they have different parts, just like what China really does, once you think of it. Well, one of the things that I can tell you that all the people that I know that actually know way more about the Middle East than I do, and they say that the Middle East is not ever, ever being one, any of them, to do things on the table, above board, and everything to where everybody can see it open and honest. And, no, they just, especially when it comes to an infidel nation. America is an infidel nation to them, and they think that they, trying to conquer it, make our women and daughters sex slaves and all that. Yeah. Everybody else that would be a threat to them, they probably just want to kill right off the bat. So there's a lot of things going on to where people need to actually realize, even all the things going down in Israel itself, and how the Jews believe and how the Muslims believe and all yada yada, and what Jews actually think of Americans. Okay? It's quite disturbing. Okay? So the Middle East is the key to all of this, because our government, with everything what's been going on, has been, well, hell, we funded Saddam Hussein, we funded Osama bin Laden, we funded Gaddafi, what's his name, Sadat from, wasn't that Syria, everything in Israel and all. We have literally funded these people under the guise of peace and everything, but they have taken every bit of the money just to fight each other. And our government knew it was going to happen. They knew it. They knew damn well when, after the map was redrawn, and Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia and all them got bigger, and Yemen and Jordan and just everything, the borders got fine. then that's where everybody knew where they stood and they knew who they were going to be fighting. And most of the time, it was going to be their neighbors. It's God's honest truth. You can go back and I mean, the Islam, that's something else. There's two different, or maybe even more, I don't know, but I know of two that they got to a certain point, then they split, okay? And when they split, one had one idea and one had the other idea. But the point is that they butt heads against who's right in Islam. Okay? I know it's a shit show. That's why I'm saying there's more stuff that I have over 40 years of knowledge in my head. And if I wish that I could just, like the Matrix, and push something to where it could be blah, 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 and download, then I wish I could do that, but I can't. Now, I started watching the History Channel way back in the 80s. Okay? Yeah, the 80s, late 80s, something. Yeah. Everything from military blunders, military raids, and all that. And that's how I learned about the world and who's who and who's doing what. And I've just gained some knowledge over the years. But I can tell you that, well, listen. Okay, so it was the king of Jordan. Is who he's talking about because he's corrupt. There's a lot of people that just want to. Wait a minute, what did he just say? Hey, listen. Okay, Jordanians are Sunnis. So I guess Iran is Sunni. Yeah. They've been killing each other for thousands of years. Now they're showing guns that are all wrapped up in plastic and all. They're going to. Says Iran arms smuggling takes hit after Assad's fall. Democrats have been running over there for a long time too. Yep. See what I mean? See what I'm telling you?
Look, in terms of that, you bring the Palestinian issue, which
Wow. And have you heard about all the big things that Trump's sending over there to the Middle East?
majority in Jordan. I know this is a central issue, perhaps the most inflammatory, is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Look, in the West Bank, in Gaza, we've seen political leadership go through an earthquake this year, we could say. But Abbas is still hanging on. President Abbas hanging on. How much do issues on the other side of the Jordan River in Israel affect what's taking place in Jordan?
People also don't realize how many times uh,
Because
Israel,
the intelligence has a huge grip, Jordanian influence and intelligence on Eastern
all
Jerusalem
parts of it
and
have changed
refugee
hands
camps,
so many
particularly
times.
in
Muslim,
Abu
Christian,
Ghraib,
Muslim, Christian, Muslim.
near Shechem or
Yes.
Nablus. So
Okay.
those militants, right
There's
now we're
been
having this
more
confrontation
blood
with
spilt
Hamas.
on that
Those
side
guys,
of the
I
world
can
than
sum it up in one sentence,
anywhere
with
on
all
the
the
face of
dirty
the
theories.
planet.
The first time Palestinian militants got killed 9 months ago fighting the IDF, when their funeral, the Jordanian flags were played. The Jordan, the Jordan you see in television is not exactly the way the king and his
So he's
executors
saying that
want.
Jordan, he's
Bottom line
corrupt.
is,
He's
Israel is expecting
but
the worst
Israeli
in
and
Jordan.
Jordanian
Prepare for the
intel held
best,
talks
but also
on
expecting the
Syria.
worst. Stay tuned. This is going to be quite a show in Jordan. On my side, we're doing all we need to make sure
But
that
what I
Jordan
was
on the
saying
same
is all
table,
the
to
aircraft
make sure
carriers
that
that Trump
we
sent
come in
over there to
tomorrow
the
and
Middle
when the
East,
king is gone, not Al Julani or any of
I
those
think to the
idiots,
Sea of
referring.
Hormuz or something like
And
that, or
one thing that's really alarming in
there's
Jordan
a
at the moment
gap
is
over
the
there. I
magnitude
forget what the
of
name
the
of it is.
anti-Semitic propaganda, which is being operated and run by the king's own media,
Yeah,
inciting against Israel, calling for jihad, calling for
yeah.
protest against the Israeli embassy, with very little response from the Palestinian majority or our Bedouin or so-called
So
Bedouin
just like us
pacifiers
here in the
saying,
U.S.,
protest
if the
against the
higher
Israeli
ups
embassy,
have
the Jordanian
control
police would literally open
of
the
the
highways, open the roads to the Israeli embassy.
media,
Jordanian media would call for protest against Israel and so forth, and less than 1,000 people would show up. The
then they're
king
going to be
is in a
talking one
predicament.
side
He doesn't know what to do. And to be honest with you,
all the time,
historically,
over and over and over and over and over again.
Israel cannot save every regime they want to save. So we're looking
Newspaper,
at quite a change in
radio,
Jordan.
TV,
Fascinating. A lot to process. Lots
billboards,
to chew on.
Mudars are
and
hard.
they're
I like his posturing for taking control of Jordan. I don't know if it'll actually work, but I do like the rhetoric coming from him on how he sees the future of Jordan as Palestine, and
so
sort
people
of
need to
giving control
also
to Palestinians.
realize is that the Nazis were very good friends with the Muslims. Just look up the Grand Mufti, Mufti. Yep, he met personally with Hitler. Sure did. But the Middle East, y'all, is a jigsaw puzzle that hardly any of the pieces ever line up because there's too much damn money from the U.S. and from the U.S. government going over there. But at the same time, when Trump stopped all of the funding, the U.S. aid and everything, just so happens that Hamas also stopped their, what was it, a payment for the families of someone that had martyred themselves, blown themselves up, or uh, attacked Israel or Israelis and killed one or two or what, because the more you do, then the more you're gonna get. So that's the reason why they try to make these attacks as spectacular as they can. Middle East has been doing this stuff for a long time, y'all. Everybody needs to understand that the EU and NATO and everything like that, it is just another dominating force over the world because Islam, each one is its own individual dictatorship. It's just the way it is. Like they're saying, they have royal families and stuff that they have, yeah, 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 da, 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 that just stay in power because it's one bloodline. So, that's what they're trying to get back to, one bloodline and everything, to where things are pure, because the world has been just so fucked over the years, excuse the language, because there has been conquering nations all around the world that have conquered other nations, raped women, and had other kids and stuff like that. And it was all mixing the bloodlines and all that kind of stuff. And it will take thousands and thousands of years before it ever gets, and then it still won't ever be all what it was. But yeah, the Middle East is still a hotbed. They are still looking for power. They really don't want to do much with the war because, they know damn well that Islam, they're going to be standing on their own. They're not going to be having a lot of people come to their aid, if you know what I mean. But everybody else, there's billionaires out there and stuff that would rather destroy everything and rule over the ashes. Sucks, but it's true. So that's one thing that I was just, how could I put stuff together to, that the Middle East is one of the biggest, they still behead each other in the streets, y'all. Okay? Saudi Arabia and other Middle East, look it up. I mean, yeah, it is legal for, like, I actually saw a guy one time that him and his wife were sitting at an intersection, and he got out of his car and went and talked to the police and stuff like that, and his wife had disrespected him. They shut down the intersection and then actually had a guy come out there with his sword, and that, because they have swords, literally have swords for arms, heads, things. Yes, hands, and yes. Well, this guy accused his wife right there in the intersection. The guy with the sword came out. This was like 45 minutes, an hour later. They all waited. The guy come out there with his sword. They convicted her right on the spot, and he cut her head off. This has not been too long ago now. Look it up, even about the bodies being hung up in the town square in Saudi Arabia not too long ago. These people are brutal. They don't give a shit. They're like China. They're saying, oh, we could lose 1 million people and not care. There's 1.4 or 1.8 billion Muslims in the world. So they could lose a couple of million. Wouldn't bother, nothing. So that's the point. The propaganda and the money that have been spent over the years to spread even more of the dictatorship and blame people for the same thing that the ones paying the money are doing themselves. Nazism 101, always accuse the other side of that which you were guilty of. So, yeah. But I didn't want to make this too damn long. I wanted to let y'all know what I was kind of thinking about this, and a lot of things are not being said about this over here on this side of the planet. And I hope this helped. I hope it helped you understand some things or what, because everybody needs to learn the kind of people that you're dealing with. You might be sitting there talking with an open, just caring heart, just oh so much or whatever. And the one sitting there looking like, when I get my chance, I'm going to cut your fucking head off. That's exactly what they're thinking. Same thing with these fucking cartels and all this shit. Yep. Sorry. It's the cold, hard world that we live in. And those are of us that are willing to put our asses on the line. to save this country. And if you're not one of them, then I suggest you sit down, shut up, and help the ones that are. Well, y'all check him out. The Traveling Clat. He's got way more information than I do. He talks to people that are on the ground over there in Israel, Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, all those. The Traveling Clat. CLATT. He's a pretty cool dude. The Traveling Clat. So he just put a video up 13 minutes ago. Says, watch carefully. Jordanian politician drops bombshell about the King of Jordan. Crooked politicians are people that are power hungry and want that money and want to get it no matter what. Because they, in their head, they think that they're just privileged. They think they're just, you know, automatically deserving of it. You know what I mean? Wow. So, anyway, y'all take care. Have a good day. Uh, I hope everybody's doing well. I've got some other videos that I'm going to be doing and stuff. I'm going to be refreshing some things that I have from a year or so ago. If you want to go look at my old videos, just thumb through them. There's a lot of them down there about different kind of protection, bladed protection and things like that. Yeah. But I got more. Man, there's always more. Sometimes I hate it. I really do. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And everybody keeps telling me about the like, comment, share, subscribe, that crud. So I'd appreciate it if you would. Because it involves you. Later, Patriots.